Hello students, in this video I'm going to explain you finding the average rate of change. So the goal in this video is to cover that how to calculate average rate of change in the given situation. Okay, so average rate of change. To calculate average rate of change, let me explain you a little bit idea about what is average rate of change. Average rate of change is just like you are going from one place, position 1, to all around to the position 2. Now let me give you an example. If you are going from home to the school, let's say you are taking like 10 minutes to go to your school. Time is 10 seconds. Okay, and let's say the distance is 3 kilometers. By using a formula v equals to d over t, you can calculate the velocity. Let's say your velocity that you are getting is 2 kilometers per hour. Let's say, okay, and just giving you an example. Now while you are traveling from home to school, you are not taking 2 kilometers, you are not moving with this velocity in the whole scenario. You must be changing. There is a stop sign, or there is a traffic light. Okay, in those two cases you have to slow down your speed. Sometimes you have to be fast. But when you are calculating overall velocity, okay, overall velocity in the whole situation, that is known as average velocity, and in mathematical form, in calculus way, you call as the average rate of change. Okay, so what is average rate of change in a mathematical questions? Let me show you an example. So let's say if you have a graph, again let's say position time graph. It's a position x and time. Okay, and position time graph will give you something like this. Okay, if you want to calculate average rate of change, you will say that, like, let's choose 2.1 and 0.2. okay, and if you will join these 2 points like this, that point will be called as a position time graph. Now just give me 1 second. Let's join these 2 points like this. This is called average rate of change. Okay, and this line, when a line is intersecting a graph at 2 different points, if a line is intersecting 2 different points on a curve, that line is known as secant line. Okay, so this is a secant line. Secant line is intersect 2 points on a curve. Clear? Now this is about secant line. There is another called tangent line. Now what is the idea of tangent line? Tangent line idea is, like, let's say, again same example, you are moving from house to the school, and let's say if I will ask you what was your velocity when the time was 1 seconds. Okay, so when I'm asking you about second or the third second, that moment, the velocity of that moment is known as instantaneous velocity or instantaneous rate of change. What is that? Instantaneous, because it's come from a instant. Rate of change. Okay, Now this instantaneous rate of change, we will discuss this later in a different topic, in a different lesson, but let's talk about secant line. Now the formula of secant line is, you can write it down as f of x equals to f of b minus f of a over b minus a. Okay, this is the formula of secant line. This is also the formula of average rate of change. They both are same thing but different topics. Now let me give you an example. Example 1 is f of x is equals to x cubed minus x on interval is 1 and 3. Now in this question, this value will be a, this value will be b. So let's substitute the value, because the formula over here is f of b, so you need to calculate f of b value. B is 3, so I'm going to write it down over here. Oh, but wait, let me write it down properly. So to calculate the average rate of change, this is what you need. F of x is equals to f of b. B is 3 minus f of a, which is 1 over b is 3 minus a. So to calculate f of 3, I'm going to write it down this value, f of x, this one as b, which is 3 cubed minus 3 cubed is 27 minus 3 will give you 24. So f of 3 is that one. Let's substitute the value. F of 3 is 24 minus, now let's calculate f of 1. 1 cubed is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So f of 1 is, f of 1 is 0 over 3 minus 2 is 2. So now your answer is going to be 12. This 12 is the average rate of change. First equation, this is the first question which I gave you totally in a mathematical way. So whenever I ask you calculate the average rate of change, you will follow this process. Now let's do question number 2. I'm going to write a different function, but process will be same. E to the power of x minus 1, and we're checking average rate of change on 0 and 1. Okay, all right. Now again, the formula of average rate of change is f of x equals to f of b. Now here b again is this one and a is this one. So f of b means f of 1 minus f of 0 over b is 1 minus 0. Let's calculate f of 1 value on the side. So f of 1 is equals to, I'm substituting 1 in this function, so it's going to be f of 1 equals to e to the power of 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is, will give you e to the power of 0, and e to the power of 0 is 1. So you will get f of b1 is equals to 1 minus, let's calculate 0. Now f of 0 is equals to e to the power of 0 minus 1. You will get e to the power of negative 1. E to the power of negative 1, you can also write it down as 1 over e. Correct? Now I am going to substitute this value of 1 over e over here, which will become f of 0 is 1 over e over 1 minus 0 is 1. And if you're writing over 1 is the same thing, so you will have 1 minus 1 over e. 1 over e also have an answer which you can get from the calculator, but you can keep it this one as your answer. No problem, this can also be your answer. Good. So this is how you calculate the average rate of change, no matter what function is given to solve.